Hey everybody, it's Mr. Loose, and your technique of the week is proportionate people. So, why do we need to know how to draw a proportionate person? Well, if you're going to do something cartoonish or any kind of characters that aren't realistic, they're going to have different features that are different sizes. So, they might have a really big head and a really small body, or they might have really large eyes, or their hands are really big and they have long arms but really, really short legs. That's great for showing a lot of different emotions and exaggerations for characters. But if you want to draw something more realistic, then you need to pay attention to the proportion. And proportion means that everything works together in relation to size, that it's convincing that it could be real, even if it's a drawing or a painting. So the first thing we're going to do is you're going to get a ruler, okay? And you are going to mark every inch. So we're going to put a mark here at the tip top of the ruler. Then we're going to put a mark here at the 1 inch. Then we're going to put a mark here at the 2 inch, at the 3 inch, 4 inch, 5 inch, 6 inch, 7 inch, and then you're going to put one at the half of 7. Okay? So you should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and a half. All right, so when I remove my ruler, it should look like that. I am then going to draw a line using my ruler from all of my marks. Just a straight line, and this is just going to create sections, individualized sections, to help you know what area you need to be in. Now, if you were doing a, like let's say an actual piece of art, not just a practice sketch like we're doing, then of course you would not want these lines to be very dark, so you could go back later and erase them. All I'm doing is drawing the lines of the little marks that we just made a little bit longer. And mine are kind of going down, but that's all right. It doesn't really matter. Just so you know what space to stay in. Okay, so there are our different sections. So we should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 big spaces, all an inch thick, and then a half one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, and then one half one. Okay, so 7 and a half. All right. So the next thing that you're going to do is we're going to start in section 1, right here. So I'm going to label them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and I'm going to name this one half. Okay. So we're going to start in section 1, and this is where the head goes. The head will only be in section 1, so it cannot go past this line. So what I will do is I'm going to start here at the top and just start with drawing lightly. And I'm using a special kind of pencil, so it's going to show up dark, but I'm drawing really soft. And I'm just kind of drawing basically like an upside down smiley face. So I'm going to draw more of like an egg, because our heads aren't actually circles. A lot of people will draw a circle for a head, but they're actually more like an egg. So got my head in there. Okay. And then I'm going to go in and I'm going to add some ears. Okay. And I'm just going to do 2 lines here as the start of the neck. All right. That is all I'm going to draw in that first section. Okay. So the reason that our head fills in this whole section is because this style of drawing is with the proportion in theory, we are 7.5 of our heads tall. Okay, so we should have 7 heads for as tall as we are. So if you wanted to do it differently and draw a head first and then measure it, and that would determine, and then add 6.5 more of those, and that would tell you how big your person should be according to the head. Okay. So in the next section, we're going to bring the neck down just a little bit, and then I'm going to kind of put like a little collar right there. And you can make the neck as wide or as thin as you want, okay? And then, what's the neck connected to? The shoulders. So I'm going to give him some round shoulders. And you can make yours a male or a female. It is whatever you, or non-gender. Make it however you want, just as long as you are staying in your square. Okay, so I'm gonna be like a football player. Okay, so you have the shoulders, which come down to make the arms, and you can go as wide or as in as you want. All right. Now the next part is I'm gonna come right in here. That's a good spot. And you're basically just drawing the sides of the chest. Okay, this is like the armpit area where the armpit and the chest meet. Okay, and yeah, that works. Okay. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go into the next section, section 3, and you're just going to continue this, and just, you can go as in or as far as you want. The more towards the center you go, the thinner the person will be. The further out, the wider the person will be. All right. And you're just going to bring that down. And that's all we're going to do with the body in section 3. And then I'm putting mine in a t-shirt. Okay. So I'm just going to connect it like that. And there, the sleeves. Okay, I'm going to finish the shirt in section 4. And yeah. And then I'm going to start the pants. Alrighty. So there's that. Now, I'm going to do the arms. So I'm going to go back into section 3 where the shirt comes off. And you're just going to draw some lines like that. Okay. Like I said, I'm drawing a football player. So, let's see here. And I'm not using an eraser today, so it might be a little sketchy. All right. So the guns, right? The biceps are going to be right here, and then we're going to go down and we're going to do the forearm. And your wrist should start right here. Okay, so I'm going to do a dotted line. This is where your wrist should start. Okay, it should be about halfway, 4.5. Okay, so that's where your wrist should start. And if it's, if you need to go back and erase, that's fine. Okay. All right, and then I'm going to do part of the hand. Like that. And some of the other fingers, and then over here. At the hand. Okay. And then I and some other fingers. And I'll go back in with my eraser and clean it up later. But you get the idea. All right, so there is the top half. Now in 5, we're going to go in and we're just going to add, I'm going to put some little shorts on. You can put yours in jeans or a dress or a skirt or whatever you want. And the inseam, which is the, like, in between the legs, you will bring up just a little bit to right above that line where 4 and 5 meets. Okay. It's called the inseam. So there we have him so far, or them. Now we're going to do the thighs. So the thighs, you're just going to continue on. I'm keeping in mind that since I made the neck and the shoulders and the arms a lot bigger, that I need to kind of consistently keep him that size. So now I'm going to bring it down to 6, which would be the knees. Okay, which kind of go in a little bit. And right when it starts to get to the knee, it's going to become the calf. Okay. And then in 7, you're going to finish off the legs. And when you get to the final little box, you really this is where the ankles are going to start. So you should only have feet technically in this. All right, so I'm going to draw my foot, and I like to see, let's bring it out a little bit more. I like to draw the outline of the foot first before I go in with the toes. Gonna make them look like shoes first and then go in. Okay. And of course the big toes are towards the inside, so keep that in mind. And then 2, 3, 4, 5. 2, 3, 4, and the pinky toe, 5. Okay, and now I need to go back in and kind of clean them up a little bit. I could add some more details, but that's the just how to draw someone with the proportionate way of using the size of the head. So remember, you have 7.5. So you have 7.5 heads tall. That means 7 heads, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then half of a head. And that would make your person proportionate. You can make them as wide, as thin, as tall. Like, it's really up to you. But that's just the basic of making sure that in section 1, you only draw the head. Section 2, you have the chest and shoulders. Section 3, you have the biceps and the torso. Section 4, you have the forearms, which then halfway through 4, you get to the wrist, and then you have the tummy. And then section 5, you have the inseam and your quads. And then section 6, you have thighs, and then ending with the knees. 7, you have calves and shins, finishing at the ankle, and then putting in, last but not least, the feet. Okay? So that is how you draw with a proportionate person. So why don't you go try it, and I can't wait to see them.